Okay, I'm out here with the Case Ingersoll project deck, and the first thing I'm going to do is replace got all the parts finally. I'm going to replace that idler pulley and lubricate up the pivot and all that for the idler. And I see a problem here already. I think that bushing has to come out. I hope that's a bushing. And no, the ID is okay. I was thinking they might have sent me the wrong one. First of all, this one is much taller, which probably, let's just hope everything fits the way it should. Let's just say that. Okay, so I went to my press and I got this pressed out of there. It is the right size. Goes into the new one. I think maybe this pulley is just this is a Sten's it's aftermarket, and maybe they just make them tall now because it just gives the belt a lot of more free room. The back of the belt is the only part touching this, so as long as it clears the guards that go on the top, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So what we've got is the two spindles with the short shafts, and those are for the outsides. The center one gets this sheave, and then the large sheave. Everything's got all new bearings, top and bottom, new stainless bolts for the blades, all new pulleys for the outsides, both new cast iron pulleys for the center one. Reused the original nuts, and I got all new shaft keys in there for the keyways already set up, and I think we're ready to install. One note, if you're putting yours together, I already figured this one out. If you were to clamp that all together, this part could be clocked wrong. Then when you go to put your blade bolts in here, it won't have the recess because those can move. So if you didn't have those bolts there to index that, you could possibly have it crooked, and then when you go to put your blade in, you're going to bend up that thing all gnarly. So make sure that's lined up with that. I'm just going to put these bolts in here just to hold them, and then we'll install the whole spindle assembly. Alright, so here's our spindle assembly. We've got our keyway in there already. Couldn't put the top pulley on yet because it won't go through the hole that way. I'm just using these serrated flange head bolts with the serrations on them instead of the regular ones with the lock washer and regular. That's just something I prefer. You can put whatever you want on yours. I'm going to tap that in from the back because I got a lot of paint when I repainted the deck, and it's not going in easy, and I don't want to break the ears off those spindles. one down. Alright, finally getting some stuff put back together. There's 3 complete rebuilt spindle assemblies. Now we'll go on the bottom side, finish up on the top side. Alright, down here on the bottom side, all new stainless bolts. Yes, the original ones had washers. I prefer these kind, and they're all stainless, so they never seize up in there and cost you a headache. The blades I've got are like new. I put these on not long ago. I gave them just a fresh, real quick edge sharpening, just on the tops. And this deck, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, it does have 2 different size blades. The odd one is obviously the middle. That's the oddball size. So just beware, pay attention. That thing did spin a little, so now I've probably bent it a little bit. Get this one started proper. I was expecting to put the sheaves on first, but I think I'll tip it this way. Keep with the plan. Plenty of clearance all the way around. That's a good solid looking deck now. Okay, and on these, this part goes up. That's the groove, I think, for using a puller on, which I didn't know about on the first ones. By the way, if anybody's wondering what that white stuff is floating around, looks like this. It's cottonwood. It's a tree that grows in this area. Nobody plants them, but they're just kind of residual from people that have lived long ago, and unfortunately it makes your whole yard white and also clumps up with your lawnmower. And it only happens for once in the spring and once in the fall, but it's annoying as hell while it's happening. Thank God I'm done painting this and every other thing I wanted to paint. Actually, this deck I want to paint the outsides now. I painted the insides and the underside, as you saw, but that'll have to wait. And I'm noticing that's riding really low. I think there was actually an additional spacer on the top the more I think about it, because these bolts are nearly hitting. And why would it be that low? Pretty sure I should have put a washer. I'm going to have to pull that back off. Okay, so you can't put a washer because the key right now is hitting the base. So if you put any more wash, unless when you suck that up, that thing compresses something in there and gives me more clearance. But as of right now, I'm going to say no washer, because you couldn't get one. You'd have to put it on and then put the key in, and there'd be no way you can get it right now. So it's possible I might have to take this back apart, but let's see if it's right when I tie it all the way in. I tighten it all the way down. All brand new pulleys on here. Got just a little thread showing. I guess that's how high it's supposed to be. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Oh, that one went all the way down right away. Beautiful. Excellent. Now for the middle one, you got to put on two. So I only put in one of the keys right now, so I got to remember to get the other key in there before I close it back up. I believe that went up. Yeah, that would make sense. Good. Yeah, that's at the same height. It's just sitting just above those bolts, just like we want them to. I like to get them seated as much as I can before I put any pressure on them with the nut, because the chances of stripping that out are pretty high, I think, if you were to do it that way, to use the nut to draw it down. Alright. Okay, just put a brand new idler pulley on. This idler pulley did come taller than the other one. It doesn't look like it'll be a problem, but I'll have to see when I get the guard on. If it is, I'll have to reorder an OEM one, because the other one was much squatter. Put the spring back on there and made sure everything works, and then I gotta just throw the belt on yet. Now let's see if I can get this belt fed in there the right way. Wow, is that spring tight. Plan B. Alright, I'm just going to pry sideways, see if I can get that far enough. Man, oh man. Good luck to me. Okay, so I got the belt on. I did have to switch back to the original idler pulley. I thought maybe the belt size was wrong. Nothing was fitting. And long story short, if you go with that taller pulley, where it clears this right now, because it's spring loaded, the taller pulley is too tall and it jams up against the arm here. So I'm going to have to reorder an original type or original height idler pulley, because the one I got was taller. I thought it would work and it will not work, and I'll have to put the original length bolt back in from the bottom when I do get it. But anyway, we got ourselves a almost complete fully rebuilt deck.